The Otaku Murderer. Oh me, oh my, oh me, oh my. This this is a rough one. Hello, everybody. Hi, it's me, Dee Sparta. Welcome to my channel. I hope all of you are well. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I'm growing and I appreciate y'all so very much. I just went live. There were a lot of readings that I couldn't get to through, and I know some people. My rule is only one reading per person. Please, I need a moderator to help me with these things when I'm doing live, since they're getting more popular and it's hard for me to keep track. So I don't know if there's somebody out there who, I've been talking to wants to help. Let me know. Anyway, thank you all. I appreciate you so much. I do want to go live again soon. I don't think I could do it tomorrow unless I am up so freaking early and before Santa brunch. Yes, my family, we are going to a Santa brunch. My in-laws do this, take us there. It's wonderful. It's a lot of fun, and I always post a picture of my family because I try and get a family picture with Santa every year, and it's neat, So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. So I will be busy. And later today, I have to, I'm going to be in Second Life. Hey, I do tarot readings also there for free. You just have to send me a note card and ask. So, yeah, I'm D Sparta there. I think the original name was like D Star Child, but D Sparta is who I am. Okay, so let's get into this. This is a true crime reading. I want you to know that everything here is alleged and for entertainment. Woo! I got that out there. Now, this, diving into different things, the Discovery Channel. I do have Discovery Plus, and, there's ID is there. It's the investigative. I forget what it means now. My mind just went investigative Discovery Channel. Yeah, I figure this out. I figure things out. It just takes me. I need more coffee. Here's my coffee. But yeah, so you stumble across things, and also through YouTube, and it's like, what? When I saw this guy, I was like, what? And the first thing I saw was his a picture where people were trying to claim that was his deformed hands, and it's not. And we'll get into that more. So this killer, he's more of a vampire, and I will get into I'm going to say words that I probably shouldn't on YouTube, but he was into, I'll just say, necrophy. When someone's when they're dead, it's not good. He was a PD of children, hurting children, and was a cannibalistic serial killer and an abductor of. So, yeah, it's this. He has a lot of victims. Let's see here. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking like 5, 6. This was all in 1988, 1989. They kind of referenced him sort of in a Criminal Minds episode, but I want to get into who he really was. So Miyazaki, he was born with deformed hands, and he had a lot of problems. He was very shy, quiet. He loved manga. Hey, I do too. That doesn't make me a cannibalistic serial killer, though. No. But because of the rejection, he did become obsessed with manga. He had a hard time socializing with people, but he was originally just one of the top students in high school, and things went bad. So if you want to learn more about this, just stick around. If you don't, you want to just jump into the tarot reading to find out, what's up, if there any more, what's going on with this guy, was his mind. We'll get into all of that right in the psychic reading. So please, if you want to stick around and learn more about him, go for it. If you want to skip all this, just do that, or watch in reverse, either or. I love you guys, and yeah. Whew. So we're gonna kind of deep dive, or a mini, not so deep dive, but we'll get into this is intense, folks. I gotta tell you. Hey, thank you for sticking around, my friends. How are you? Ooh, if I laugh and grin a lot, it's because this is an uncomfortable topic. He had a hard life, okay? He was born with his wrists fused, so he couldn't move them, and they were deformed, and was made fun of for this. He, at one time, had thought he wanted to be a teacher, but he left that. He apparently was not well endowed, and was very insecure about the size of his penis, and so he was really awkward around women. He just, so he got into a weird habit of taking pictures of women tennis players that he would use to self-gratify himself. Now, after college and everything, he left. He moved back into his parents' house, and he shared a room with his older sister. Now, Miyazaki's family was actually highly influential in their town. His father owned a newspaper, but Miyazaki had no desire to take over the business or be a journalist. He claims that during this time at his parents' house, he was suicidal, wanting to take his own life. And because he really didn't like anybody in his family except for his grandfather, who had passed away in 1988. I think the grandfather's death might have been the trigger for what happened next, because he became extremely depressed. And so, as a way of trying to retain something from him, he ate his grandfather's ashes. He wanted to try and bring his father still with him that way. I have heard people doing that, and it just doesn't sit well with me. But yeah. Then just a couple weeks after that, his sister caught him spying on her while she was showering. And when she confronted him, he attacked her and his mother. Yeah, they fought. And yeah, he did have a lot of porn, a lot of violent films, and people trying to say, hey, it's because of all that. That's bullshit. I watch all sorts of horror movies and true crime, and I have no desire to kill anybody. In fact, I want to help people. So, yeah. Now, on August 22nd of 1988, this is when things get really dark. I mean, yeah, they weren't so great before. I know. But Miyazaki, he abducted a young girl, and her name was Mary Kono. Now, she had been playing at a friend's house, folks. And and he abducted her while she was there and drove her to a wooded area. Um, and he kind of parked under a bridge where they were sat there for a while, and then he strangled her and unlived her. And then that's when he violated her sexually while she was dead. And that's, ugh. And then he left her just in the hills over by his home. But he did take her clothes with him. So he kept a, token here. As we see, he, eating ashes, taking clothes. He likes to have something to someone's death, even though he didn't actually kill his grandfather, but yeah. Now, this gets creepy. Miyazaki, he actually returned to her where he left her and then decided to remove some of her body parts. I think it was like her hands. I forget everything. It's some of her teeth. And then he turned her bones into a powder and placed them in a box alongside of her teeth. Yeah, in this box they put pictures of her clothes and a postcard containing the words, "Mary cremated bones, investigate, prove." And he sent that to her family. Now, he did take her hands and her feet, and he kept those in his little apartment. Ugh. Now, October 3rd, same year, Miyazaki, he spotted Masami Yoshizawa on a rural road, and so he saw her there, and he was like, "Hey, would you like a ride?" And she was like, "Okay." And then he took her to exactly where he had Mary. And this was a young child. Okay? And he did the same thing with the strangling and then the violating of her body. He took her clothes. And then the next month, he was returning from a friend's house. And he saw someone else, Erika Namba, and he drove her to a parking lot, forced her to undress. He took pictures of her, and then he unlived her. He killed her. Now, he covered her body with a bed sheet, took her clothes, but later he ended up disposing her in a wooded area. Her stuff in the wooded area, but he left her body in the parking lot. So yeah, now he did once again send a postcard to her family containing the words, "Erica, cold, cough, throat, rest, death." This is such a very sick and twisted person. His victims were usually around the ages around 7-year-old. But yeah. Now on June 6th of 1989, he once again led another girl to take his car. After taking pictures of her, he killed her, and he left her body in his apartment and was using it for sexual acts. And he took pictures of her body in very different positions, and he filmed it. Now, when her body really started becoming decomposing, he dismembered her and put her head in the cemetery and her torso in the hills. Then he actually went back. This guy goes back to the scene. Nobody's finding these bodies, and he's just like, I'll go back. And he retrieved the body parts, and he kept them in his closet. Now, he also drank her blood from her hands and ate part of her hands. Ugh. Once again, he's like trying to consume. I get this feeling of bringing them, making somebody a part of him. It is gross. On July 23rd, Miyazaki attempted to insert, oh my gosh, a zoom lens into the private parts of a girl in a park. Fortunately for this young girl, her father was around and stopped him. And Miyazaki fled. And he was naked at the time. And he ran on foot, but he was arrested. And when he returned to retrieve his car, because he took off, he thought he was safe. Thought, okay, I'm going to go back and get my car, but he was arrested. He was not. That was a stupid move, but good for, Police found, this is gross, in his car a disturbing collection of body parts that he had hid. Now, during the trial, he blamed the murders on an alter ego called Ratman, who coerced him into committing the murders. And the court judged him fit to stand trial, and he was sentenced to death. Miyazaki's father refused to pay for legal defense, and unfortunately, he took his life in 1994. It really just... Now, while awaiting to be executed, there was another child killer told during his trial that he wanted to be the next Tsutomu Miyazaki. I'm sorry, Tsutomu Miyazaki. I have a hard time reading. I'm legally blind, so I can't always see the letters. It's like, what is it, am I reading? Or he would like to be Mamoru Takuma. And this actually enraged Miyazaki. Yeah. Now, Miyazaki was hung June 17th, 2008. And when he was only 45 at the time. So he was very young in the 80s when he committed these crimes. He targeted girls between the ages of 4 and 7. I didn't mention that earlier. It was very young. And he would just drive around and find the first girl he saw, and he manipulated her, or he would force her in the vehicle. And as a signature, he would make silent phone calls to the victims' families. The phone would ring for at least 20 minutes if they did not answer it. And this is back in, in the 80s. We had, answering machines, but a phone could just ring and ring. If you didn't have an answering machine or anything, it'd just ring forever. It didn't stop. Yeah, because there was no voicemail or anything like that. There was caller ID then, if I remember correctly. We did have caller ID. But you could block your number. Now, and he had sent out the postcards to some of the families. He had written, the words he used were cut from magazines to form these very cryptic words that was relating to the child's murder. Now, he always violated these little girls after they were passed on. He cannibalize some of the body parts, and he would always keep parts of them and the clothing, and usually would hide a lot of that in the closet. Now, psychologists had concluded that he was sane, but did suffer from a dissociative identity disorder and a severe case of schizophrenia. Now, I don't see how you can be sane with all that. And other psychologists suggested that he had no apparent disorder. They're like, just a thrill for killing. It's a rare kind. He thought himself important due to his deformities and small, and saw his victims as nothing more than characters from a comic book. And that has to go back to, they're saying, blaming manga. And I gotta tell you, as much manga and manhwa, and, I read, and anime I watch, I don't. I don't. I even write a web novel. Like, I would love it if someone could turn it into a graphic novel. I wish I could draw well enough to do so. That would be awesome. Anyway, so yeah. Another professor, psychotherapist was like, you know what? He first was a PD, and murderer is a second thing. Killing is just an extension of his interest in little girls as a way of possessing them. And that right there seems the most likely to me. Because he seemed obsessed with, like, just what he did with his grandfather, Now, his victims, he had assaulted his mother and sister, as we talked about, after his sister confronted him for peeking. And then, okay, I've got a picture of the hands. Now, this, if you look at it, it's a black and white image, and just because it was in the 80s does not mean we did not have color film. Okay? But these hands were what people used to try and say were like, and trying to make him more, even more of a monster than he already was. I mean, he was a horrible, horrible person. But it's more of the rumors outside of Japan spread that this was him, and it wasn't. And so if you see something like this and you're like, oh, the otaku murderer, the little girl murderer, Rat Man, those were his hands. No. They were fused at his wrist. See how we can bend and twist? Well, he couldn't do that. His wrists were fused. I couldn't find a picture of what his hands really look like. And I really didn't want to dig further into more pictures about him because, yeah, that's a rabbit hole I didn't like, okay? Well, now that you've learned more about him and his witnesses and his victims, these poor little girls. Let's get into the tarot reading itself now. Hello, everybody. We're going to get into the psychic tarot reading right now. I am a little nervous. This is energy that I'm sensing is very twisted, maniacal. He couldn't feel. It was like he was hoping to be able to have feelings by possessing these people and like thinking it'll come. He'd feel something because they're a part of him. He wanted to possess them. Okay. Alright, so here's the Three of Cups. Makes me wonder if he wasn't alone. Whoa. Okay, the Lover's reversed. The Hangman. And the Four of Cups. Ooh. This is... Ooh. Oh, I forgot to transit there. You can see the cards now, right? Okay. Alright, so... you know, often the Three of Cups is working with someone else. I just... that... He was alone. Oh, this is multiple personalities. The Lover's reversed here. This is like... oh, the end of a relationship. His grandfather passing. There was a bond there. It was like the only person who accepted him and looked out for him. With the Hangman here, and he's upright. I just get this... the killings for him, it was a sacrifice. It was giving him a release of... he was so insecure, and if he felt like, okay, maybe I'll get satisfaction here, yeah. And the Four of Cups here is reversed, and he was very isolated, and you know, he was talked about. He didn't like gossip about him. I see it pushing him over the edge. I think with his sister and mom, that assault, it pushed him to the point of, yeah, I can do this, and he was afraid of the gossip that would spread. Here's the Hermit, strength, and oh, okay, the World. So there's a lot of major arcana cards here. That's interesting to me. With the Hermit, he wanted solitude but his mind, there was always voices, and he couldn't focus on it. I think, yeah, yeah. And here is strength. So the passing of his grandfather gave him the courage to live out fantasies, and that is sickening. Okay, and then, you know, the World, and it's right here under the Hermit, I mean the Hangman, which is, so it was the completion. He found fulfillment in... there's zero regrets of taking their lives. He wished he had gone through with his mother and sister. He fantasized of that. Ew. Like, when he was doing these things to little girls, he thought of them. Okay, so He wanted to get away from somebody. Okay, the Seven of Cups here. He was searching for a purpose. He lived in a not reality. He was a daydreamer. He would, with this chariot as an escape, his fantasies were an escape. And he transitioned them to try and live them out. And the Eight of Wands upright here. He wouldn't hesitate. It was when he saw someone, it was like, he wasn't one to go, oh, this is a bad scenario, I shouldn't try this. And because no one, you didn't think he could get caught. I mean, why would anybody look for him? Here's the High Priestess. She, over these cups, she, this was a very spiritual thing for him. That's what the High Priestess said. This was a very spiritual, it was ritualistic, it was pleasure. It was, to him, he was doing like God's work. He is very insecure. I'm getting like, if you believed in ghosts and haunting, it was like haunting the families of his victims and people in his own family. Spiritually, he was there when his father took his life. It was like he was encouraging it. This is, he saw his dad as a failure, not strong enough to do what he, to live and carry on. Yeah, his dad, there is some blame. The father blames the mother and daughter for how he turned out. That, his wife's sins caused his son to have the deformity and be sick in the mind. Oh boy, I'm picking up on so much. I don't need the cards. It's, I can feel he's here now with me. He thinks it's funny. Okay, I've got to stop this because he's now trying to show me what he would have done to my kids, and that's just not cool, dude. You stop right now. Not even cool. You are a sick fuck. And not welcome. Okay. I feel a little better now. That was a weird reading. I knew it was going to get dark, but that was I just kind of felt like this burden on my shoulders. I'm just going to, excuse me, we're going to do some major cleansing here. This is Palo Santo. And this will erase badness. Much better than any kind of saging. I don't like the smell of it, but oh yes, take away the badness. Oh, definitely. A feeling lighter already. Well, folks, that just took a bad dive, yeah. he definitely had multiple personalities, and yeah, he was not sane. I don't. There's no. He doesn't know the difference between right and wrong, and he wanted. He was very possessive. Very possessive. Wow. Okay, folks. Well, we're done with this reading. Yes, we are. I do appreciate y'all. Let me know what you thought of this. That was I'm a mom, man, and it's like you touch my kids, and I will not. Bad things will happen. And I'll make sure justice happens. I wouldn't back down. I fight for my kids. I do. I love them so much. Having them saved my own life, and maybe I'll share about the pain that I was going through and how my son, having him saved me, gave me reason want to live and look forward to a future again. And that they're so special to me. And my little girl, having her with my wife before she transitioned, it was, I had a miscarriage and then found myself pregnant with her, and they bring so much joy to my family and my life. And the fact that the brother and sister here, they love each other and look out for each other. Yesterday was so sweet. My daughter, I'm bringing in some good, we need a palate cleanser, don't we? Palate cleansing here. So my little one, she is 10. She does sometimes go by they, them. She is very, very non-binary. You never know what to expect. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, she was learning how to play the clarinet in school. She's in 5th grade. She's 10 years old. She's gonna be 11 in 8 days. Oh my gosh, her birthday's in 8 days. Oh wow. Well, she was there to play the clarinet, and my son, her brother, Kyle, he is 15. He's going to be 16 on the 22nd of this. So just, less than 2 weeks. Oh boy, my kids. Ooh, I love them, but they're getting so much older. But he really wanted to be there for his sister's first concert. She had been to all his because, she was younger than him, and then they were in the same school, so she would get to see him play violin. And Kyle's got guitars, bass, piano, violin, and maybe there's more up there. There's keyboards. Yeah, he loves music. He's into it. I encourage it. But he really wanted to be there for his sister's first concert, and that, to me, we took him out of school early so he could do that, and he was just so proud of her. Just seeing just the happiness, the joy she saw when he was there, her face lit up like my big brother. He showed up for me too. It's heartwarming, I'm so glad that, and I really hope there's a bond that stays with them. I miss my brother a lot. And I hope someday he will come around and accept my wife and I and our kids. My sister and I are healing our relationship. This year, especially when I was at Disneyland, it was really amazing the talk we had, and so I love her so much. We may not agree with everything that each other are doing in our lives, but she's my little sister. I was the oldest, and all right, folks. I can't believe. I don't know if anyone stuck around for all this, but I do love you guys, and I appreciate y'all. I do enjoy doing true crime, but I don't do a whole lot because it is draining, and that's why I mix up other readings, and then K-pop always makes me happy and full of joy. So that's why you see a lot of K-pop readings, folks. It's so it does. Music brings me joy. I like other groups too. I can cover. I'll do whatever you guys just ask and let me know. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being so supportive. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and liking the videos, sharing videos. Let me know what else you would like to see me cover. I'm wondering if I should revisit the Delphi murders, since I said they were going to pin it on somebody. But he's like a scapegoat, and I don't want to I want to see if this is who that is. If you followed, I did a bunch on the Delphi murders. And I could also revisit the Idaho University students. That is something I'm really involved in. I mean, I lived there, and I saw, I was there when there was some other killings, and it's like the police there don't take women seriously when they're like, this person is stalking me, this person assaulted me, so yeah, I want to look into that more. If you'd like me to, just let me know. There's also the whole Daybell, Lori Vallow, Daybell, Chad Daybell, those killers. I've covered them, her and her brother. That is what they did to those two children, and then the line of bodies behind them, and his wife, Chad's wife. And their trials coming up. So if you want me to revisit things like that, please let me know. Just comment down below, and yeah, I love you guys. I think I'll do a poll for y'all, so look forward to that on the community page. Let me know if you want to do those, so if you don't comment, you can at least vote. Either way, it's good. Let me know. And remember, everybody, be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I love you so much. Thank you. See you around. Bye.